And a very good morning. It's Mark here. It is 8:15 Eastern Time, which is 1:15 GMT. It is December the 3rd, Friday. And there's been, I know, a stop-start week, a little bit haphazard. Today being the last day of the new week of the year. Let's see how the markets stand going into the US Open, bearing in mind we're about 50 US Open just underway, 8:15. The equity markets will be opening up in an hour 15. And let's see how we look following yesterday's very, very strong rally by the US dollar. So far, no follow-up to yesterday's gains. If we start off on the US dollar index on the daily, you can see, if anything, we've given up a little bit of yesterday's gains. Buyers unable to maintain above that 109, but that is the level that buyers are going to be looking to test and break above, and look at yesterday's resistance of 109.36, where sellers are going to try to come back to that 108 level, because that's where price action is from yesterday, between 108 and 109. But to start the day, US dollar has given up some of those gains, but it is early days, and we have to wait. As I say, US session has just got underway, and as we've seen over the past few weeks, things do change when the US session and the US traders come into the market. Let's have a look at the S&P. Pre-market open, a little bit of strength, kind of hanging around where it was yesterday. But as I say, futures up slightly pre-trading, which is confirming the inverse relationship. We saw US dollar strengthening, giving up some of yesterday's gains, weakening a little bit. And the inverse relationship, meaning, or that I'm referring to, would be strong US dollar would be weak equities, weak US dollar, like we're seeing, even though it's just to start the day, and we're seeing the inverse relationship here, and strong S&P to start the day in the futures stage. Let's have a look at gold. Gold's really fascinated me. I've put in this kind of triangle formation. I'm joining up the lower highs, and I'm joining up the higher lows. That's on the daily, looking to see if price action does get contained and narrow down until we get a break either way. The break that we're looking for, buyers want to come up and see it test the descending trend line, the top of the triangle, and even get up to the resistance here at 2,700. Sellers, of course, will want to see a bounce down off this level of the descending trend line to come down and test the ascending trend line here, and that's at around the 2,600 level. Price action contained between 2,600, 2,620, 2,660, within that $40 range for now. Let's have a look at oil. After yesterday's strong day, today kind of hanging out where it closed yesterday, and that's at the 75.97, just under the 76 level. And it looks like it's interesting to see how there could be a whole new trading range. Bear in mind, for the last few months, we saw between 72.50 and 74.50. That was the $2 trading range. Following yesterday's strong move, we're now looking at possibly a range between 74.50 and 76.50. So the $2 range could have moved up a whole leg. Buyers are looking to test this 76.62. Firstly, it has to get above that 76 level, maintain above there to continue the uptrend. Sellers, of course, looking to come down and test, now that we're at the 76 level, 75.50, 75, on the way down to getting to the $74.50 level. Bias is still up, trend is up, higher highs, higher lows, Let's see when the US session comes in, whether this uptrend can be maintained or whether the sellers step in, and we do see some, and I wouldn't be surprised maybe to see some range trading here. Like I said, a full leg higher than we have seen over the past few months. Bitcoin. Yeah, now I've drawn in something for you to look at here, and I'll show you why I've done that. Bitcoin, 3 strong days. There's yesterday's strong day, went all the way up to 97.8, almost 98,000. Today, hang around at those closed levels at the 97,000. There you can see, if anything, haven't given up some of yesterday's gains. What I did find interesting is I wanted to see this retracement, this short uptrend in terms of Fibonacci retracement levels. So what I've done is I went to the recent high, that's around the 108, and the preceding down trend that we saw from 108 all the way down here to the 92 level. It's a big move down, and here we see the turnaround up. Is this going to be a retracement, a natural breather, and continue down? Alternatively, maybe reverse completely, go back up and test the $100 level. So the fib retracement levels, the 3 levels, are levels where we'll find that retracement, that reversal will have difficulty breaking through those levels, and that could well give us indication of whether this retracement will turn into a reversal or get held up. And the first test is at the 38.2% retracement level. And I found this very interesting. There is the level at 97,838. And if we look at the high from yesterday, 97,776. So yesterday it tested that first fib retracement level, hasn't been able to break above there as yet. It couldn't yesterday, came back down at the close, and so far today continuing to give up some of those gains. But I do think it's interesting how this 38.2% fib retracement level was tested and did hold out. Good trading, guys. Keep that discipline going. As I say, it's been a difficult week to trade with the stop start, and we don't have the even flow. For someone who uses moving averages, I like the markets to remain open. So it's been a bit choppy, but let's see how today works out. Today could be some strong moves. The question we want to see today answered is the strong start we saw by the US yesterday, will that continue? Will that maintain? Or alternatively, are we going to see US dollar give up some of those gains and going into next week, possibly not with the same type of strength that it started yesterday? Good trading.